afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am just ecstatic that you're here to join us. My name is Dr. Scott Gines. I'm the Interim Vice President for Athletics at the University of Indianapolis, and it's fantastic to see you all here today. I apologize. Pardon me. I did not know that was there. I apologize for my attire. I have to leave immediately from here to jump on a plane, and I'll be doing that for a couple days because I'm going quite some distance. But what's most important are the people here today. In fact, we were holding a similar event to this about 47 days ago for our new head men's basketball coach, Scott Heddy. And today we're here to celebrate and to introduce two new head coaches in our women's athletics. And that is astoundingly a very blessed doubleheader. And just to kind of give you the order of how I'll share things with you and in introductions, I will first lead off with our new women's head triathlon coach, and then I will follow up in our cleanup hitter with our new head women's basketball coach. But first I want to really begin with a question, and that question is simply this: what's the impact when a person becomes their actual true name? And what I mean by that is Jama and Doug are first-time collegiate head coaches. They both began yesterday. And they've dreamed of doing this for a great deal of time. And when we become what we're made to become, that is truly an adventure, and it becomes a part of our name. Today, each one of them become a head coach. And for the rest of their lives, they will be known as such. But in the process of this, I needed to know their heart and mind. They were initially names that we searched for, and they also needed to know my heart, or at least some of the deeper things that are related to, all right, who's this interim guy, and why is he here, and what are the challenges, visions, and goals for UND athletics? Well, some of those answers very intentionally focus on the advancement of women's athletics. Here today, and I lost sight of her just a moment ago, there she is in my right eye, is our senior women administrator, Andrea Walker. And across our audience, I see Missy Frost, our head women's softball coach, who is our all-time winningest coach now in the history of this athletics department, and there are many others. But our initial conversation, for Doug, it began with coffee in town, and for Jama, it was a Sunday afternoon virtual conversation on these topics. So what did I learn? And my takeaways for Doug Robinson are this: he's an adaptive leader with a curious mind. He likes to set roots and be stable. He's dreamed of being a collegiate head coach for over 35 years. That seed was planted in his mind a very long time ago. And as a scout and as a recruiter, Doug knows that swimming and cross-country suspects in the scouting world, if you will, are oftentimes great triathlete prospects. He loves to be singularly focused on the development of a team and everything that comes from that community. Doug Robinson loves developing, he loves discovering, and very importantly, he loves building, and the legacy of his career thus far reflects that. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my very humble pleasure to introduce to you the University of Indianapolis's inaugural head women's triathlon head coach, Mr. Doug Robinson. Doug.
Thanks for all coming. Football and softball and track and field and swimming. So I appreciate everyone coming out to support me and starting off this next chapter of my life. I was talking with the Scott head basketball coach just a little bit ago, and was saying, my athletes right now woke up this morning and they don't know they want to be triathletes yet. We do not have the recruiting pool out there in the country to be able to go out and recruit a triathlete. And so part of my job is to take athletes who are great two-sport athletes in high school and help teach them and educate them on how to be a three-sport athlete as one sport. And it's a great, exciting challenge. And one for me as a former elementary school teacher, kind of part of what my legacy as a teacher has been is I would get a student coming into my classroom who would not know fractions, wouldn't know the concept of fractions, wouldn't know how to work with fractions. And my job was to take them and to teach them fractions and move them from unknowing that concept to excellence. And that's my job here as a women's triathlon coach also, is to take someone who is unknowing of this sport, the intricacies and the strategies of the sport, and move them from that space into excellence, into champions. So I look forward to that opportunity and to that challenge. And I really appreciate the support of everybody from the university that I've met so far in the last 36 hours, and the athletics department specifically, and feeling like that I'm in good hands to forge forward with this adventure. So that's kind of all the things I have to say. If there's any little questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And if not, then I think we move on to the next phase. Yeah.
So not only just the new coach, but the first coach in this school's history, right? So what's the first step in laying the groundwork and developing a successful program for you?
The first step is being able to log into my email and just kind of the HR pieces. But, I think it's going to my connections in the community. Coach Robinson from cross country and track and field has been a good model for me, is the talent that he has pulled from the Indianapolis 465 circle, that having my roots here in this community over the last 35 years allows me to tap into people I know from high school swimming and high school cross country. And I'm looking, as Dr. Gines said, that somebody who is not on the radar of a swim coach or of a cross country coach because they're just a smidge off, they're my perfect athlete. They come in and they are hard fighters, and they are challenging themselves every day to be better, but they are also multi-sport. And so those people that fly under the radar of most recruiters is where then I get to step in and say, you know what, you don't know it yet, but you're something special. And you can help me build a national championship team, which I would imagine is maybe the first time that they would hear that. So it's my community roots here. I think it's going to be my good foundation, and to be able to pull athletes in. Thanks.
Coach, you've been coaching for quite a while. What enticed you to sort of seek out a college level opportunity like this?
Yeah, when I graduated from college back in 1989, I kind of had a concept of wanting to get into collegiate coaching at track and field. And those pieces and parts just never really quite came together. But I've been coaching high school, middle school, adults since the mid-'80s. And that's always just kind of been something in the back of my mind of a space and an environment that I really wanted to get to. And then over the last 18 years of coaching triathletes, that background just built and built and built to where then when this job came up in our community here in Indianapolis, it was the kind of the perfect aligning of the stars, because I was not going to be able to move across the country someplace as some coaches are dedicated into moving to where the next position can be. My life is kind of anchored here with my family, my children. And so when UIndy announced the position, I was beyond excited to pursue it. All right. Thank you.
And I do also want to thank our media relations team over here, Ryan and Cody, and we've got a number of other sports. I think I saw Coach Tabay and both our tennis programs, and so thank you all for being here. Well, life comes at us in the form of a story, and how we interpret that means everything. In my initial conversation with Jama, what I found was a leader who wants to be part of a story that's bigger than herself. And so what are some of my takeaways for Jama Sharp? Well, make no mistake, Jama has a deep-rooted passion for basketball, and equally powerfully, I believe, for her home state of Indiana. Her career is a story filled with a series of episodes and scenes that you can see her competitive adaptability, you can see her extra effort, her instinct, her intellect, and laden throughout that is a great deal of success. She knows the magic of a team is actually team chemistry and team cohesion, and that its development actually requires that very equal portions of support as well as rigor and accountability. Jama knows how to identify prospects, and she does that having a very keen understanding of the right makeup, and the right makeup for identifying those prospects that are actually going to seek their level, that they're going to bring their potential into reality. Potential is simply something that hasn't happened yet, and part of her track record is making that happen. She's real, unpretentious. I find her very present in the moment, and she stands on the solid rocks of sportsmanship, integrity, her faith, and hard work. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce one of the special talents of Mooresville, Indiana, and your new University of Indianapolis head women's basketball coach, Miss Jama Sharp.
Ooh, okay, it's down a little bit. First off, thank you all for being here. It really means a lot. I'm excited for the opportunity to join the Greyhound family and be back in Indiana. Don't ask me in December, but right now. I'd first like to thank God. Obviously, my journey in this process has been rooted in His guidance, and I'm so thankful to Him. I'd also like to thank President Singh, Dr. Scott Gines, and Greg Shaheen. I'm so appreciative of you guys for giving me the opportunity to lead this program. Being a head coach has always been a dream of mine, and I'm very excited for what's to come. Coaching has been my way to give back and pour into young women like my coaches and former bosses have poured into me. I've been blessed with opportunities to work under some of the best head coaches in the business and been prepared by them for this moment. In one special case, I was able to play and work for the best of the best, my coach, Lynn Bria. I've worked for her for 5 years and played for her. I'm so grateful for all her guidance, wisdom, and support, not only as a PG, but as an assistant as well. UND is a special place. It's the best mix of academics and athletics with a support system that's second to none. The success of all their programs speak for themselves. From the minute I stepped on campus, I've felt at home. I'm excited to lead such a storied program and get back to competing for championships. I've hit the ground running, and I'm pumped for the kids I have returning and will be recruiting hard to build a family of great student athletes. One of the qualities of a Greyhound is a fighting heart, and that is what you will see this year on the court, the ultimate Greyhound. Lastly, I would like to thank my family who are here today. Some who are not, but believe me, they will be at all the games since they're right down the street now. I am open for any questions if anyone has any, but make sure to go buy your season tickets. Go Greyhounds. Yes.
Yeah, so as you go into the program, you're obviously looking to add, recruit, but no stranger to recruiting. What kind of athlete are you looking to bring into your team, and how are you looking to build around it?
Yeah, obviously I think we have a good foundation. We are bringing back some, so I'm not starting from ground zero, but I want someone who works hard, who plays hard, who's going to go out there and fight. The other stuff is kind of the talent part. obviously that's a huge piece, but the fighting, are you coachable? Are you willing to work and just buy into what I'm trying to build? Mm-hmm.
What made this the right time for you to seek a head coaching position?
Stuff kind of lines up. I think it's kind of a God thing, but also there's, like I said, UND is a special place. I've been at different places. I've been at different levels. So obviously when I get the call for this place right down the street from where I grew up in the great state of Indiana, where basketball is, the centerpiece, it was a no-brainer. And I was ready for it.
And kind of adding on to the question I had before,
Yeah.
being from Indiana, from Wardsville, do you feel like you have any upper hand in the recruiting pool?
I would like to think so. Definitely my Midwest ties help. Obviously, I still, have relations with the AAU coaches and high school coaches in this area, so that definitely helps. And I definitely recruited hard. Even though I was down in Florida, we recruited the Midwest hard, so that helped as well. Mm-hmm.
What's first for you?
Recruiting. I got to recruit my players, keep them on the roster, and then get more to fill our roster and, make us a whole unit. That's it. Again, thank you guys for coming.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. And I actually just want to bring a quick conclusion to, we're not done with the 23-24 competitive year. We are the academic year, but it's been a magical year for all our 23 sports, which today really officially become 25 from that standpoint. But 463 competitions, 20 of 23 programs advanced to the NCAAs. We are still completing a very busy spring season in which all 10 of those programs did. Your baseball team will take off for the College World Series tomorrow, and just very proud of all these folks. All 23 of those programs have team grade point averages above 3.0 and some astounding performances. It would take me a while to share them all, but they're led by great people. You've been introduced to two other great people today. And Jama gave an encouragement to buy season tickets. What I would say is come to UND often and come with an overwhelming bias for Greyhound athletics. So thank you for being here. And please take an opportunity to introduce yourself and get to know these two new head coaches today a little bit better. Appreciate it.